So mathematicians, today we are going to move on to adding decimal numbers. We're going to start by taking a look at how we can visually add them on a number line, but then we're going to move into place value discs, which should look familiar to you from 4th grade. But the goal eventually is to be able to add decimals the same way that you would add any multi-digit number. So I'm going to ask you to take out your dry erase sleeve and marker. You won't need it yet, but you'll need it in a few minutes. So let's take a look at this first problem here using the number line. So we have Una. She runs 3.95 kilometers one day and 2.7 kilometers the next day. Use a number line to find the total number of kilometers Una runs. So I'm going to get my pen out here. So if I'm adding these two numbers, 3 and 95 hundredths and 2 and 7 tenths, I'm going to start on the number line with my bigger number so I have less to add. So I'm going to put 3.95 down there. Bear with me with the pen. It's not super easy to use on the computer. So 3.95. I have to add 2 ones and 7 tenths. So I'm going to start by just adding the whole numbers to make things a little bit easier. So if I start by adding just 2 to this number, that's something we can certainly do mentally. What's 3.95 plus 2? Yep, 5.95. So we'll put that there. So I added the whole numbers from here. Now, here comes the trickier part. I have to add 7 tenths to this number here. So I'm already at 5 and 9 tenths and 5 hundredths, so I know adding 7 tenths is going to take me into the next whole number. So let's start, instead of adding 7 tenths all at once, let's just add 1 tenth to start. So plus 0.1. So let's look at that tens place. I'm already at 9 tenths. If I add one more, it's going to take me up to 6. So think about 9 tenths plus 1 tenth. It's going to take me to 6, 0 tenths, but 5 hundredths. So 5.95 plus just 1 tenth there is going to take me to 6.05. So now I added 1 tenth. I have to add the rest of the tenths. So 7 total. I already added 1. I have to add 6 more tenths. So I'm at 6.05 plus 6 tenths. This is going to be a little bit easier. So if I look here, I have 0 in the tenths place right now. If I add 6 tenths to that, it's going to take me to 6 tenths, and the hundredths are going to stay the same. So here is my answer right here. 3.95 plus 2.7 is going to give me 6.65. So just take a second and look at the number line and see if that makes sense. Now this is not going to be an efficient strategy to use as we get into bigger numbers. So let's take a look at using our place value discs. Okay, so I have this number here, 0 and 74 hundredths plus 2 tenths. So I'm going to get my pen again. Maybe I'll get a different color here just to keep things interesting. So this should look familiar from last year. So we've got our ones, our tenths, our hundredths. We're going to plot each of these numbers or do a dot model for each of these numbers. So let's start with this one. This one has 7 tenths. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 4 hundredths, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this represents this number. Now I'm going to add the discs for this number. So this has 2 tenths, nothing in the hundredths place. So now that we've got all of these dots on our model, let's see what we have total. In the hundredths place, we've got 4, right? In the tens place, we've got 7, 8, 9. Nothing in the ones place, so our answer here is 94 hundredths or 0.94. So that was pretty easy. This number seemed to work well with the place value model. So let's take a look at a number that might be a little bit more complex. We've got ones, we've got tenths, we've got hundredths. So let's start by showing this on the place value chart. So my first number, I've got 5 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 6 tenths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 4 hundredths. Okay, so we've got this number done. So now let's go to our second addend. I've got 2 ones here, and then how many tenths do I have? I've got 7 tenths. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so now I have to add all these together and see what number I have. I'm going to start with my hundredths place. I have 4 in the hundredths place. That was easy. This is where it gets a little trickier. I have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 in my tenths place. I know 10 tenths make a whole, so there's too many here. I have to take 10 of them. I'm going to take, let me get a different number just to show, or a different color, I'm sorry, just to show. So I have 13 here, right? So let me take 10. Move it over here. That's going to give me an extra 1. Let me add that extra 1. So how many are in the tenths place? 1, 2, 3. Now how many ones do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's take a look here. So according to my place value chart, these two numbers when added together are 8 and 34 hundredths. So just to do a quick estimation, 5.64 if I round it, rounds to 6. 2.7 if I round it, rounds to 3. 6 plus 3, my answer should be close to 9. Okay, looks good because I did have to round both of these up. But let's see how we could do this like we would add any multi-digit number. But the thing is with decimals, there's a few things you have to keep in mind. When you are adding decimals by stacking them, you have to line up the decimal place. So I'm going to start with my first number here. So I've got 5 ones, 6 tenths, 4 hundredths. So then I've got 2.7. So again, I'm going to line up the decimal. 2 ones, 7 tenths. I have nothing in the hundredths place here. Because I want to keep things lined up and even, I am going to put a placeholder. I am going to put a 0 there so that way everything is lined up and nice and even. So now I could just go ahead and add these by stacking them.